There's more trouble regarding insecurity in Kaduna State. Terrorists have killed 17 soldiers in an attack at the military base in Powai, Benogwari local government area of the state, and wounded 40 soldiers. The terrorists stormed the military base on motorbikes in large numbers and engaged the soldiers in crossfire for more than 2 hours. 3 civilians were also killed in the attack. Dari, this is audacious. Going to a military base and riding on motorbikes and taking the military head-on and killing 17 soldiers. These are just, this now goes beyond the normal ragtag.
And we still call this bandits. You see, AY.
Going to a military base.
See, you look at going to a military base. I look at entering Kaduna at all. Kaduna for what it is, when we talk about security, military formations, you can't count less than 5, 6 in that state.
More than.
So I would think even terrorists would think twice before storming such a state. How much more? Taking on a military base. And I ask a question. The soldiers, were they caught napping? Were they ill-prepared? Or were they overpowered? Is it that we now have more terrorists in numbers now than ready soldiers? I mean, combat-ready soldiers. If that's the situation, then we're in trouble. Serious trouble. If you look at the succession, the quick succession in which attacks took place in Kaduna in the last couple of weeks, one will begin to wonder, are these elements sending signals to us? If we continue to pretend that we are winning the battle against terrorism in the northeast, are they trying to tell us that just look right behind you, we are here in the northwest? Because Katsina now almost inhabitable. Daily attacks. Come down to Niger in the north central. The governor and some officials boldly stated it as a matter of fact that some local governments are now in the hands of terrorists, controlled, administered, governed by bandits and terrorists. I would almost want to say we need to take a very good look at what is happening in Kaduna. These attacks, Ayo, are not happening in the rural areas anymore. They are not in the villages or in the bushes. This is in the heart of town. In places where one would expect to be most secured, having military formations. This is a military base. They didn't go there just to kill. They needed arms. From the reports, they carted away arms belonging to Nigerian soldiers.
Asugo, there was a time that if anything happened anywhere and people engage any kind of the military guys, as in you have maybe 1 or 2 soldiers, you know, that's casualty. You know that the whole area, they will know that they're in trouble, that they will relocate from that place, because completely. You know that, not to talk of a situation whereby 17 soldiers.
Ayo, it's getting more scary by the day, you know. I remember, just like you said, whenever one soldier is killed in a particular area, then it means that area is in trouble. We don't want to talk about what happened in Odi. In 1999, what happened there, and they grounded the whole place, you know. And this is in Kaduna. It is becoming every day now. Military bases that we think they are going to be, when once there's any situation outside and you run into, is now being overrun by terrorists. Whether you call them bandits or you call them terror, because I want to, those guys are
getting access into your armory.
Yes, and you know, because we are saying that they are bandits. By the time we say, oh, these guys are bandits, we are just trying to deodorize them because they are killing people. They are killing people. The other time they went to the airport, they took over the airport, the Kaduna airport. Then they even bombed the train. So these guys is like they have an objective, and that is where the government or the President Buhari needs to sit with the service chiefs. I know he has been sitting with them, but what did he tell them? What has he told them? Because Kaduna is not just any state. Just like Dari said, it's not just any state. Kaduna is where we have most, if not all, the military formations in Nigeria. We have one DIG there. Nigeria Defense Academy. Ayo, you remember the attack Nigeria Defense Academy? Till today, we've not heard the reports. We don't know who has been prosecuted. No. That one has been swept under the carpet. We still have the Air Force base in Kaduna. And if these guys are targeting, because if anything happens to Kaduna, Ayo, that is where our armory is.
No, one division, the foremost
yes,
division.
The armory that all military bases in Nigeria, where they get their armory is in Kaduna. So we need to start thinking, why are they targeting Kaduna? The government needs to start thinking. We that were in the south, we also have to start thinking, why is it Kaduna? Biringwari is big. It's 5 times bigger than Lagos. In fact, those guys, they have a forest that they stay. So why can't we just bought Tucano, for crying out loud. We shouldn't, that's what I'm saying, we shouldn't call them bandits. Call them terrorists so that we can use the Tucano on them. And these same guys, the so-called Ansaru group, they've been disbanded. The government listed them amongst terrorists. So we can use our Tucano on them. So we shouldn't keep we didn't bring Tucano for it to become an antique. No, it's for us to use the Tucano on people who do not want us to have peace. So the federal government should start looking at that level. If they are in the forest, they are in Biringwari. Look, 5 soldiers. That is 17 soldiers. 17 soldiers whose families will be crying now. And there are 40 wounded soldiers which you don't even know how critical that their injuries are.
Some of them might end up.
And 2 civilians who are just vigilante group. So the government needs to step up and stop these guys from moving up and down in Kaduna. For them to have taken the airport, the rail, and don't forget even the road. The other day they were saying, oh, the IGP went there. They said the IGP drove past the place and came back. The place is safe. After leaving that place, they still kidnap people on that same road, in that same Abuja Kaduna expressway. So there must be a strategy for us to stop these guys from operating. And they are operating from this Biringwari. Now that they have done this, the chief of army staff should be angry within himself and send out his boys. Put boots on the field, let them go to that forest and deal with them. They have the Air Force. The Air Force can help. So once the Air Force does their own work, the Nigerian army can do theirs. I'm seeing the great things they are doing in Borno. Because yes, Borno, we might say, okay, fine, the war is not over. But we see videos, you see pictures. I don't know if you have been seeing pictures of victory by the troops. So we can replicate same in the northeast. That is why Governor El-Rufai is not missing words when it comes to these guys. He's saying go there and bomb them. That is what he said. So he doesn't want giving these people using kids' gloves on them. It won't work.
Dari, why do you think the attention is now shifting to Kaduna? It used to be Zamfara. After Zamfara, it used to be Niger. Right now, Zamfara is consistently in the news for
Kaduna.
That of Kaduna.
You see, anyway, the truth of this matter is that we are at war. And the earlier both our leaders and we, the followers, agree on the fact that this is a full-blown war, the better for us. It was northeast. And then while it appears that, we are having a grip on what is happening in the northeast, these criminals shifted base. they are giving the impression that the Nigerian army or the Nigerian government cannot at the same time keep the entire country safe. That's the impression. If it was Zamfara, and then the president talked tough enough for the military heads to move into Zamfara, secure Zamfara and get things better, then suddenly it is Kaduna. Don't forget that at a time it was Katsina. They left Katsina. Now it is Kaduna. They are trying to send this message that look, you cannot secure the whole country at the same time. And you know, when somebody said the government that cannot secure the country has lost moral justification. It is not a common saying. That is a proverb. It's a statement of fact that we have a situation. Kaduna is in the news. The governor has told those who care to listen that he is, perplexed. Is tired, and it's not as if he's not proposing solutions or possible ways of handling.
He said he wants mercenaries.
He said he may be forced to bring in mercenaries. Some people were quickly to say that will not be allowed, but what will be allowed? What solutions are they providing? He said bomb these guys. We know where they are. Each time he is talking, he's mentioning locations. Then we have units in the Nigerian army, units in the Nigerian police that deals with intelligence. Is it that I saw a video of what is the name of this thing? A drone, and down there were militants or bandits as it were,
and they were looking at
obviously they don't know. They know this is something up there, but they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to handle it. That's an opportunity. We have their videos. Are you going to say we cannot use the aerial view to determine where this is? Now we have Tucanos. We have bombs. We have declared these people as enemies of the state. Why are we still being careful in bombing or taking the war to them as it were? Some people want to talk about they are also Nigerians, and I get angry. In Nigeria declare war on Nigeria, and you say it's a Nigerian. A Nigerian takes fellow Nigerians into captivity, kills some, refuse to release others, and you still tell me it's a Nigerian. I want to tell you that this APC government came in 2015 with a lot of promises for Nigerians. As much as I look at some areas and say, yeah, they've done quite well, the security issue is one campaign promise this government has failed to live up to. This government has failed to put smiles on the face of Nigerians. Each time we remember what is happening, and we used to think this thing is far away. Gradually, it is coming home to us. Train was the option people took to when the roads were no longer safe, when flying became a nightmare. People said, look at the caliber of people who were in that train. That's to tell you that people saw that train as alternative. Then what happened to it? Some people, a retired military officer was here. We were on a program together, and you know what he said? He said, even as somebody was in peacekeeping force in Darfur or wherever, he said, even as a retired military officer who saw war, I want to tell you that it will take a lot of courage for anybody to attack a moving train. He said it will take a lot of. He said so that when it happened, he became afraid at the audacity of this criminal, and he said, look, if it has gotten to that, we should be worried. That's a trained military officer. He said the logistics, the intelligence, the needed to attack a moving train is not something a ragtag army will wake up one day and carry out. He said we must begin to look at where these guys are getting their intelligence backup and logistic backup. That it is beyond what an ill-trained ragtag uncommanded force will do. And when he said that, my worry doubled, and I began to look at it that, simply put, these guys are no longer just fighting to get attention. They are no longer kidnapping to get money. They are waging a war. which they intend to win. Are we going to keep watching them? Are we going to surrender to them? Because what is happening is, it looks like a surrender. If they strolled into a military formation, a military base, killed soldiers. Do you know, I've been waiting since this happened to know the number of bandits or terrorists killed. I've not had any. I've not had, and I'm sure if there are, they'll tell us. I've not had any. Why would say 17 soldiers have been killed, 40 wounded? Those are the people I'm relying on to protect me.
So, Asugo, in terms of doing something differently, it's becoming perennial that we have this kind of attacks and everything. And in Kaduna, I don't know, maybe the state of emergency, some people are saying it could be declared on that kind of state, because the state is like gradually moving towards a state that has been overtaken by bandits.
Well, that is an option, but before the president will want to declare a state of emergency, he has to weigh all the other options, you know, and weighing that other options is trying to move, you know, ground troops, as in moving his entire military arsenal, you know, either to the forest, which I think is called Kamuku Forest, because that is where I heard these bandits, Ibanites, because that forest, they said, is
notorious.
Is as large as it crosses up to 5 states, different states. You know, in fact, they say it is like the Sambisa of the North Central. So if the government is going to bring that option, the first option should first, let's gather enough intelligence where these people are. Now, the same bandits that attacked the train, till date, we've not heard if we've been able to track them where they are.
They've not even gotten in touch with.
At least they have unlinked some SIMs. Abi? So we have the machinery, in quotes, for us to know where most SIM cards, where some calls would have come from. So the GPRS should be able to get that information, and then we can trace. So by now, the Ministry of Communication should be able to tell us what the effort they have made in collaboration with the Nigerian military, so that they will be able to trace that and track those guys and bring them down. That is one. Before we begin to talk about the state of emergency, because the president will have to look at all the options. But me, I do not, if the state of emergency is going to bring peace in Kaduna, like I was telling you, where we have in military formations, where we have virtually everything that concerns our military, one state that has everything that if they declare war, we want to declare war with any country, we start from Kaduna. The president will have to sit down and see if the state of emergency will be good.
Larry, some people are saying that it's not possible for this kind of attack to take place without insiders, without having collaboration with terrorists, some military guys, that it's not just possible. They would have done their own assessment, they would have seen the number of soldiers on ground, would have seen how
the logistics, the planning, the information needed, because you don't just leave your base and on motorbike and start riding towards a military base to go and fight. It's not like fighting on the streets of Bariga with bottles and a knife. No, you need to know what you are going to meet. So do I need anybody to tell me?
And those guys are coming with bikes, so they should have heard.
They know. I don't need anybody to tell me.
You know, and you know the number of kilometers.
They rode all through the state, from where they were coming from the forest,
and
right straight, and nobody alerted the military base. I don't need anybody to tell me there are inside informants. And that is why I tell you, I am worried. I am worried because even before the fight is over, some of our men are surrendering. Surrendering in the sense that they are aiding and abetting these criminals. When you do that as a military person, you are surrendering the war. And that's why when you spoke about the issue of declaring state of emergency, I would readily say I won't subscribe to that. I'll tell you why. Why do you declare state of emergency? Because you think the military will do better when they're in charge. Is it the same military that cannot protect their own base? The military whose commander was kidnapped, taken away. You said it. When you fight soldiers in Lagos and you as much as slap one, the whole community will evacuate, because you can be sure that when they come back, all hell will be let loose. But it's no longer the same. A commander, a general, was kidnapped, later released. I've not heard of any action on the part of the military to show that we are going to ensure that these insults does not get away undealt with. If the soldiers, the military can no longer protect itself, then if you declare a state of emergency, you are just wasting your time. I think we should pay attention to whatever it is that is wrong with our military. Is it the chain of command? Are they not getting the right command? If so, then let those who should give the right command give it now. Let's stop pandering to the whims and caprice of politicians in dealing with security issues. It will help us. It will not.